Okay, we are live. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Ryan. Good morning, Zunaid. Good morning,
What's up?
everyone in the chat. Big day, big week, by the way. Neglected to mention this on pre-market payout this morning, but half of the market cap of the S&P 500 reports earnings this week. So this is the monster week for earnings. We will talk trade ideas, we will talk movers, and more. Let's start this show.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas law, that phrase.
Kiana.
Fisher. Joy.
Joe. Cards drawn are the past, ones to come are future.
And the best part? It's beatable.
All right, everybody, how we doing? How we doing? Guys, how's your morning going?
Doing great, man. Happy Monday. Excited to be here. Excited for BZ and ready to conquer the world, Spencer.
Yeah,
how are you doing? Welcome back, by the way.
Thank you. First day back in 3 weeks. It's very exciting. I was actually I was nervous last night. Well, because we all got a company. There was a company-wide email from Luke that said, "Hey, everyone, make sure you watch CNBC tomorrow." So I was like, "Oh, what does that mean?" But also because I hadn't been to the office in 3 weeks, I was nervous, excited. So it's fun.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep at all last night.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't get much sleep last night either, Spence. I'm in the same boat.
Dude,
so,
I slept at 2:30 and I was like, I gotta wake up at 6:30. So I'm up at 6:20 brushing. I'm just staring at that Zoom call waiting for a host to let me in.
Yeah. I slept maybe 3 hours last night. It's been a morning.
But I did get a call. I did get a call from Jason Raznick today, and he said, "Look, from the buyout, you can get $1 million to YOLO on Fridays." So
nice.
we're gonna spend some money. Obviously, I'm joking.
Did they just go over that in the meeting that I wasn't in?
Yeah. I asked Jason. I was like, "So from the buyout offer, right? Because if you're ever gonna YOLO money, today's the day to do it for him,
right?
How much of it can I do?" He's like, "Man, go ahead and take $1 million."
So
just fill out the JOT form for the reimbursements.
So how do we do? We should diversify dwac and fun probably, right?
Well, and the warrants. We got to get Chris back.
And the warrants.
We got to get Chris back.
I mean, Spencer, the meeting that you weren't at, everyone that was at the meeting got an entire Bitcoin. So we actually still have to go through the process of changing that to USD and getting it into an account.
Yeah. I actually sent mine directly, Ryan, to Voyager. So
there you go.
You like that? You like that, Spencer? I know you like that. I know you like that, Spencer.
Nice plug.
And really quick, Kindred Duke lost money on your Bears last night. Kindred Duke, I'm going to give you a tip. Don't ever bet on the Bears again. They are an atrocity of an organization.
Oh man.
All right, back to business here.
Back to business. What are you guys watching this morning, if anything?
Yeah, so it's definitely been not as much time spent in the markets because of everything that we've had. Exciting news as a business, but something I am keeping an eye on is Nvidia. I do have the 2:30 calls from the trades that we were making last week.
Do you want to show us your screen?
You know what? I should 100% share my screen.
Okay,
if you go ahead and give me 10 seconds. There we go. Are you about to look at my screen here?
I am.
Awesome. Perfect. So Nvidia is something that I'm taking a look at, looking for it to try to go for all-time highs. So it's kind of like poking. I do have options there. So I am looking for a break of, well, I guess it's already kind of there, but kind of hold the 230 area right here and then blast off away. Something else to keep an eye on, obviously, just for the folks that know, pins, ugly, not looking to trade it whatsoever. But if it does have a dead cat bounce, maybe over $50, I will go ahead and take a look at it. What was the other one I want to take a look at? Facebook reports after the close. So I'm not really expecting much movement on this one. But I do believe, I think it's Apple. Yeah, it's Apple that I was taking a look at last night. Over 150. So it's had a tough time getting over that 150 and staying. You can see that it's poked itself once, twice, 3, and then 4. And I'm looking for it to kind of go over. So over 150, I'm going to grab some calls, and then below 149.50, I will go ahead and exit with a loss. So that's what I am taking a look at for moi.
Okay.
So for me, a couple of things that I'm taking a look at here are
first share your screen. Sharing is caring.
Oh, yeah. I should have done that when you scalded Zunaid. I should have been on top of that. Okay, so first thing, I'm just going out of the movers tool here just to kind of get an idea of what's going on. First stock that we're going to take a look at here is Crtd. This had a huge run on Friday. This has actually had multiple runs before. We have a why is it moving here that the company announced a second NFT drop. NFT has obviously made a whole bunch of stocks move around like crazy. I think there's going to be multiple day trading opportunities here in Crtd. In addition to that, we've got BENE. This looks to be kind of having a monster morning here. No, again, another why is it moving here? I'm not even going to try to pronounce it because I'm sure I'm just going to butcher it. But BENE shares are trading higher. The company shares CEO with Digital World acquisition, which has been extreme volatility. That's of course dwac, which we're going to have to at minimum watch this today and see what's going on. Spencer, you talked a little bit about the earnings up front, or the earnings this week at the beginning of the show. I want to watch a lot of those tickers. I want to watch Tesla today. I know they just reported earnings. They're trading up here in the pre-market. But then also I went over to my earnings monitor here. I have it filtered for this week and S&P 500 stocks, and pretty much any of these here with importance 4 or 5 in your calendar. These are going to be important to watch this week. So I want to have an idea of what these stocks are doing, trading into their prints and then after their prints.
Okay,
So
I'm glad you mentioned Tesla. Over 950 looks really nice. Already at all-time highs. Get a little basing and keep on moving. That'd be great. I mean, that $1,000, Ryan, to me has got to be like a magnet of sorts, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of like how all the other whole numbers are. So I'm glad you pointed that out. That I definitely missed talking about that before. Over that $900 level was really nice. I wish we got this move on a Thursday, Friday. I hate the fact that it's gapped up $40, $50, whatever it may be. But yeah, over 950, if we can kind of get a little bit of base and then keep going, that'd be wonderful. Sorry, Spencer, you were saying.
No, well, actually, this goes into Michael Raymond Stevens' question from the chat. Do we look at OTC? What the hell is that?
This is Bruce Willis. Easy Mike said, as Bruce Willis said, welcome to the party, pal. I happen to have that GIF ready to go. Let's go.
I thought Ryan mistakenly shared another screen.
Yeah.
No.
By the way, speaking of dwac, I know Zoltan's in the chat. Probably he's a big fan of the show. We got to get someone from dwac on Power Hour or something. I mean, that would be phenomenal if we could. But anyway.
Okay. Wait, Michael asked about, do we look at OTC stocks? I was about to bring one up, actually, and it's Hertz. And I'm actually kind of confused here as to how Hertz can be trading higher when there is no, as I understand it, there is no pre-market market for OTC stocks. But regardless, Hertz is trading higher because of their deal with Tesla. So I bring this up mostly to mention car, Avis Budget, which is has almost no trades this morning. And if Hertz is going to go up because they're buying 100,000 Teslas, and doing this whole campaign with Tom Brady, that would theoretically be bad for car. Again, very few trades this morning in car, but it would not shock me for a second if car sells off at the open. I'm sort of waiting for it to happen. Actually, I don't have any orders out there, but this would seem to me like a low hanging fruit. If Hertz is going to go up, car is going to go down. That's just a thought I have.
Yeah. We have to keep an eye on it.
Yeah. Going back to the movers tool, sort of as we do, watching Pinterest, watching PayPal, that story is gonna play out, today and tomorrow now. Now that PayPal has come out and said, hey, never mind on the Pinterest acquisition. So when that news broke that they were sniffing around Pinterest last week, PayPal was at 273. That's where it was when the news, or around there. We'll just call it 270.
We'll call it 270. Yeah.
Call it 270. Okay. Right now we're at 254. So even though PayPal has come out and said never mind, we're still $16 away from where the stock was before this news even came across our radars. Likewise, with Pinterest, Pinterest actually has given it all back and then some.
And then some, yeah.
Right? Pinterest popped on the report. PayPal is rumored to buy them, maybe at 70, maybe not. We don't know. PayPal says never mind. Pinterest is now below where it was before the news broke. So very interesting dichotomy at play there.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you said that, because here's why. PayPal is a stock that, is going to end up reporting on November 8th. And you see that. What's PayPal at? I've got my screen up as well. 250 for me would be kind of like that area to watch in case, to get out the stock. So you're risking about $4 to $5, but you can get a nice earnings run up back to that, 270 level, or maybe even 300, or whatever the case may be. But you've got about almost 10 days, I want to say, to get an earnings run up, 10 trading days or so. So I like that. I think if you're going to get into PayPal, you should. Here, 250, the break of it, say 249 or so, I would go ahead and get out, because you're wrong. And I will go ahead and admit here live, I don't know how many viewers we have, I did have Pinterest, $63 calls, I believe, that expire November 8th. And I did pay $4 for them. I am pretty sure at the open, they will be worth, well, I say $4, obviously when each contract was 400. I'm pretty sure they'll be worth 4 pennies when the market opens. So that'll be fun.
Wow.
Yeah. But here's the thing though, right? It was interesting because my gut was telling me not to do it. And here's why. You have Bloomberg and whoever else may have been reporting it, talking about how the deal's at 70. The stock was trading at 59, even after the street knew what could happen, right? They talked about late stages and this and that. So that told me something was fishy, and you saw some PayPal call options coming in. So the story was there, but unfortunately, I got a little too greedy. And what's that saying that Kramer has? Bulls make money, bears make money, or pigs get slaughtered. So definitely a hog today, no question.
You know what, though, Zunaid?
That's on me.
Your transparency is what really matters. And,
thank you.
And the reality is that all traders incur losses.
Absolutely.
And it's how you actually rebound from them. So learning what you did and then applying that going forward. I'll tell you this, when it comes to traders, if they don't tell you that they lose, go somewhere else, because you're going to learn more. You're going to learn more from the losses than you are for the wins, guaranteed. Yeah, no, definitely. And we'll see what happens in the future, but yeah. And the reason I bought, by the way, just so folks know, is because my thought process was, by the time PayPal reports and by the time Pinterest reports, someone should confirm the news. That's why I went out, and that's why I bought further dated calls and things like that. Obviously, it doesn't matter anymore. But I had a reason. It wasn't just like, oh, screw it, let me just throw money at it. It was a reason as to why I picked that strike, why I picked those dates, and it's because those companies were reporting by the time my options expired. What were you asking, Spencer?
So Webcoin's asking a good question. If bulls and bears make money and pigs get slaughtered, what happens to apes?
Apes. So here's what happens to apes. Apes continue to have paper gains and paper losses is what continues to happen.
You're right, because they hold.
They hold. So, you disagree, Ryan?
I was going to say, not really. I was going to say apes either die out or they evolve. No pun intended. You either learn how to trade properly and you evolve, or you die out thinking everything's going to the moon with your diamond hands. So
let's talk about AMC and let's talk about GME, right? With this whole dwac, and if SPACs get hot, the money's got to come in from somewhere, right? And so I would love to, and you're a better individual to do this than I am. Maybe actually I can be as good as you, Spencer. What's
doubtful?
Probably not. What I'm looking to do,
I don't even know what we're talking about.
what I'm looking to do, and I can't do it. Spencer, if you can pull up your pro, what I'm basically looking to do is compare the charts of AMC, GME to dwac. What I'm trying to see, and I don't know if this is true, but I would assume is money is leaving AMC and GME to go into dwac and maybe Funware and things like that, because it's kind of like, hey, these are the new meme stocks. Let's see if quote unquote apes are selling these previous meme stocks to get into now the SPACs, because they see anything related to Donald Trump is going, anything related to whatever, Well,
the thing of the dwac move is so insane that it makes the GME and AMC.
Well, but look at the point though, that meme stocks were there. You had people making money. You can add Funware too if you wanted. But my point is, you can see GME is down 8%, AMC is down 12%. So it's kind of like, people. There's only so much money that us retail traders have.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Because we don't do the. Let's be honest, right? I don't have I got 20% cash because on a down day I'm going to invest some more. No, right? The way I trade, it's different, but it's also like retail traders are selling X to Y, Z to buy Z. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's something to keep an eye on. Why do I bring it up? Because if you look at the levels of AMC and if you find a trade where you want to go short, feel free to do that because money will be exiting that and go somewhere else, in my opinion.
Yeah, there is only so much. It's rotation.
You go.
It's the same exact theory that applies to like why a certain sector is up and another one is down today. Because the money, it rotates endlessly.
Absolutely.
And it's the same idea, right? Traders, have only so much capital at their disposal.
Yeah.
If they're using, infinite leverage or whatever, and they just rotate the money, and that's how it goes. So that's what we've seen the past couple of days. And I would love some anecdotal evidence from anyone watching or whatever. I would love to hear of people who have been long AMC or GameStop or both, and either are now also long DWAC and or Funware, or B, they've sold their AMC or GameStop to buy some DWAC or Funware, or what, I just, because there's only so much capital to go around. I would love to hear some, and I have no exposure to any of these, so I would love to hear from someone who does.
No, Spencer, just from kind of my own gathering information over the course of the weekend, it seemed to me that it might be plausible that some of the Bitcoin fanatics actually took some of their money out of Bitcoin and rotated into some of these meme stocks, or perhaps even some of their profits on Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, I know this morning Bitcoin's up, but over the weekend, for the most part, we did a lot of selling. And it started kind of last week. So it's just a hypothesis. I don't know if there's any truth to that. You said you wanted anecdotal evidence, so I went ahead and tried to give you what I saw over the weekend.
That's fair. All right.
Well, let's do this. I'll put out a poll. Right, we're about to trade in about a minute. I'll put out a poll on Twitter asking if people sold GME and AMC to buy dwac last week, and then later on at the 10 o'clock we can see what the results are.
Actually, I'm gonna do a poll in the chat right now. That's a good idea. Did you sell? I can't spell. So we're going to open in a minute here. Did you sell AMC and or GME to buy dwac, Fun, or another high-flying stock last week? Yes, no. Let's see. Let's ask the chat, see what they say. Very curious. All right, it is 9:29. We are under a minute till the open. When that bell rings, I will bring up my scanner tool. We will see what is up, what is down, and we'll go from there as we do every time on this show. We're going to be doing live trading. Normally, we do live trading every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No David Green this week as he's doing his boot camp.
That's awesome.
And also no live trading on Wednesday and Thursday because we have our next small cap conference. So we're going to do live trading today, obviously, tomorrow, and then we'll be back on Friday for your viewing pleasure.
That'll be good too, right? Because we're going to have a couple of days before some of these earnings prints, and then we're going to have Friday to maybe watch some of the runners or the post earnings print trade activity. So I'm actually really excited for this.
That is true. Okay, here I'm making sure my scanner is set up because I haven't been on this computer in 3 weeks. But there's our bell.
Bing,
Everyone,
ding, ding.
It's lights out and away we go. And let's see what's good. Here, let's bring up the scanner. See what's going on here.
Tesla's already got $1,000 call option for 150,000. Let's see what it's trading at. Come on, Tesla. Or come on, E-Trade, I guess.
All right.
Great. Now my E-Trade Pro wants to be slow. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
pal.
don't you love it when brokers are slow on Monday morning?
Yeah.
Amazing.
PayPal is seeing $250 calls expiring this week, approximately $200,000 worth. It's already $5 in the money. So if you want, you can go out to like a 260 and play a little bit riskier. But just an FYI on that in case anyone wanted to play that. PayPal.
This is those of you watching Mark this morning. I mean, I think it was evident as the morning went on that this is not the same as last week. This is a transparent pump. I think that much is clear. We've been going down here for basically the entire of the pre-market session, more or less. So we're dipping here off the open in Mark. If you were in this thing and you're up, I mean you are up, right? I would take some off the table if it were me. But again, this is not my cup of tea. So
skills popping out of the open there. That was a Kathy Woodstock from last week. So no position here. But this, if you're along from last week,
I'll risk $100. I'll risk $100. I'm going to go to buy the $1,000 calls. Got filled. Hey, 550. Wait, my cutoff is going to be low of day, which is going to be 9:45. Excuse me. And we'll just see where this thing goes. I think I'll lose about $100 or so per contract, but let's see where that one goes. And again, this was something that we mentioned pre-market in terms of what we're looking at, levels and things like that. So,
one of the things that I'll be watching here on Tesla now is we have the starting of the floating island formation, which is something I've covered quite a bit. It's one of my most desirable trading formations.
Say what now? I'm sorry. What?
It's from Zelda. You don't know?
I didn't play. I didn't play, but
yeah, I don't know what Spencer's talking about. It's not actually where it's from, although there is a floating island place in Zelda. This is basically, Zunaid, what we have here is we have a stock that gaps into a new territory here, right, on the chart. And so what I'd like to see is this push, define a range, and then come back in, hold the bottom of the island. The next move should be a resolution higher. And so if this formation pans out, you get a very high winning percentage on these formations. So this is the beginning of it. This doesn't necessarily mean that there's a trade for me right now, but this is something that I absolutely want to follow. We've seen floating islands in the past before. I'll see if I can find one here.
Yeah.
Just to kind of give you an idea of what this is like. Here was one on Zoom, right? So let's pretend we don't have all of this data.
Wait, right? real quick. I'm sorry. The trade that I got into for Tesla, I'm out half the position at 50% gain. So you can go ahead and sell half. Got it at 550. I'm out at $8, and I'm gonna hold the rest till a low of day and see what happens. Sorry, go ahead.
Yep, no problem. So this is Zoom. It's a little bit more janky, right? We gapped into this area, we came back in, and then we resolved higher. And this is often what you're going to see on floating islands. It takes a while for this to form. You do this via a daily chart, and obviously what happens after that is all up in the air. So I want to see if this formation holds, because if Tesla does, in fact, kind of push up here and then come back in, I would look to try this higher on the resolution.
All right, we'll definitely keep an eye. By the way, dwac has been halted down, and the warrants
and fun.
Yep, and the warrants are there as well. So last week, chat, if you remember, what happened was we had Chris Hatchie. The man was very smart, is smart, and he told us about how the warrants, you can kind of find a way to arb them a little bit. Oh, by the way, Tilray $25 calls are coming in, but that's like expiring like in July of next year or June of next year. But anyway, he was smart. He talked about the warrants and how you can trade them when the stock itself is halted. And I'm glad he mentioned that, because what had happened was dwac, the stock itself, had halted up. The warrants had gone down. Now that doesn't make sense, right? You're supposed to trade off of that, whatever. And I was able to grab the warrants and then sell it for like a 20% gain or whatever. So that's something else I'm going to keep an eye on to see if I get a similar opportunity or not. Same thing with Funware. But yeah.
I just did something that Brian had suggested in the pre-market prep chat this morning, and you can do this yourself in Benzinga Pro. Is I use the signals tool in Benzinga Pro to be alerted when there's a halt. But what I just did for purposes of this show, but you can do it obviously for your trading, is I went to the notifications tab here, and I turned on synthesized voice. So now we're all gonna be able to hear it. When
trading halt resumed at 9:35 and 18
Oh, this is that
seconds
new feature, Ryan, isn't it?
No, we've had synthesized voice for a while.
What was the voice thing that we tried to add like a month ago? Was that for the scanners that we're working on? Sorry.
Trading halt
Anyway.
resumed at 9:35 and 33 seconds a.m. Trading halt resumed at 9:35 and 34 seconds a.m.
dwac and fun just resumed.
So Zunaid, to answer your question, we would like to duplicate this functionality into the scanner. I think that's what we were talking about.
It was a scanner.
Fun little tip about the synthesized voice. Sometimes clients forget that they turn it on and then they can't really find it. I like to joke about them that Skynet isn't actually taking over, because a lot of times they start to panic. Like, why is this robot talking to me? I don't understand. I don't remember where to turn it off from. So that normally gets a couple of lefts.
That makes sense. I'm out all of my
Trading
Tesla
halt,
position
halted
except
at
one
9:36
contract.
and 12
And I just
seconds
sold it
a.m.
for
Trading
$12.50
halt on NASDAQ
from
only.
$5.50.
Volatility trading pause.
Let's freaking, can I say the F word? I don't know.
Wait, fun just got halted again. Oh, are you kidding me? So okay, that's a great feedback from Brett Gregory. Did you guys see that? Do you see that, Ryan?
What was the feedback?
Make it British.
Yeah,
My Siri is British.
See, I'm more liable to listen.
Oh wait, no. Chris says make it an Aussie.
Mine's either British or Australian. I don't know.
We can look into that. We can look into that. Or you know what we do is we just have Ryan fake an accent all day, every day. I've heard worse ideas. I'm just saying. Okay. What was I going to say? Zunaid, can you do me a favor and can you look at the options chain right now?
Oh, very good call.
For Facebook.
All right. What stripe? What you want me to look at?
Can you look at like the overall flow? I'm just curious because Facebook is.
Oh, you mean like the coming in? Okay, got it.
Yeah, I'm just curious because Facebook reports tonight.
Yes.
And I'll pull up a chart here. The bar for Facebook really could not be much lower.
Agreed.
And I'll explain why. And here's a chart. So Facebook reports tonight. We are coming off a serious headline last week from Snapchat. Snapchat had earnings on Thursday, and they said, hey, everyone, remember a few months ago when we said that Apple's new privacy update was not really affecting our business in any way? Well, it turns out we were wrong. It turns out, oops, our bad, we were wrong. It turns out it is affecting our business in a big way. They guided down, and then on top of that, they blamed supply chain shortages for lack of advertising appetite. But anyway, that follows what came out of Twitter, which basically said, was it Twitter? No, it wasn't Twitter. It was Snapchat, and then it was Facebook. Also said the same thing in their last earnings report. They were upfront. They said 3 months ago, "Hey guys, Apple has this new privacy thing. They're asking users if they want their apps to track them. This seems like it's maybe affecting us." Facebook already said that last time. Snapchat now said it this time.
Right.
Snapchat got killed on this. Facebook got killed on it. Not killed, but Facebook went down on this. You see the chart right there. The gap from that right there. So the bar is low. The bar is really low for Facebook. The stock has been out of favor for the last month and a half. That's why I asked you to look at the options chain to see what.
If you'd like, you can go ahead and pull up my screen if I'm sharing it. There you go. Yep. So these are all the. It's what I'm seeing, right, in terms of what's coming in for Facebook. So you can see majority of the calls. Let's just see if you want to look at the ones that expire in just a couple of days. Let's see what the strikes are. So you've got what's the stock currently trading at? The spot
320,
right? Yeah. So you've got like 330 calls that are coming in. It's about 66,000. You got 322 coming in. There is one put. So in terms of calls to put, there is a majority of call flow, but there's nothing that tells me like, oh my God, this is interesting just yet. Now, if folks were with us last week, we talked about it on Thursday or Friday. We said, hey, Facebook's already down here, kind of like what you said. It's already kind of baked into the price. Earnings run up. If the market holds, it could be a great way to kind of play that. And hopefully it works out for the folks if they ended up listening to it as we get into the earnings later today. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. By the way, dwac is around $100. Still trading, trying to figure out what it should do. Tesla is coming down. If Tesla gets to that 150 area, I might get back in the position as well for the same calls that I had earlier. And this is why you sell, by the way, because those calls that I went ahead and sold for like $10 and $12, now they're worth $7. So that's like 100%, or excuse me, a 50% decline from where we ended up selling it. So don't be greedy. Because trust me,
market's pulling here. Market's pulling here too. So
what the hell?
With the broader market.
What the hell just happened? Holy crap! Wait a minute. Did someone just come out? Oh no, I'm on a 1 minute chart. That's why I just freaked out. But wait a minute. Let's pull up the cues. Guys, look at this. Let's go to a 1 minute chart. Whoa!
Whoa!
Everyone, get your stops in order. Did something just come out? I'm being dead serious here. Did someone just come out?
I'm looking
because maybe go.
I don't have the squawk on because we're we're trading.
Biden is Biden speaking now? No, I don't think so. There's nothing in the newsfeed in Pro, but we did just take a big old dump.
Trading halt resumed at 9:41 and 12 seconds a.m.
That's annoying. I'm turning that off. It's already annoying me. I'm sorry.
Like
that voice is about to make me feel like I'm about to die, like I'm in Squid Games or something.
Okay, so wow, I knew we were down, but did we just take out the pre-market? Oh yeah, of course we did. You know what?
All right, so let's see where we can get some.
So we're actually now below Friday's close in the queues.
I apologize. I'm still looking around here for you guys.
Yeah, no, this is Biden still sleeping. That's funny.
That is funny.
Hey, listen, old people need their rest. It's fine. It's normal.
In terms of trading opportunities, I'm going to go ahead and wait till I'll go ahead and what is it, 450? Yeah, I'll wait till SPY hits 450 for the best risk reward. I don't know if it'll get there. I have no idea, but that's where I have my order set to buy SPY options when it hits 450 and 20 cents. My stop loss will be 449.50 break. Okay, so we've got gold up, we got oil up, we got the cryptos are up, ETH and Bitcoin. Bond yields are up, TLT just spiked, and every major index is down. So that's all relatively normal. There's nothing crazy about what I lied. The Russell is not down. The Russell's up. I stand corrected.
Question for me is, do we continue to pull, or do we actually kind of consolidate or bounce from here? And I think that's what I'm kind of waiting for before we start looking for other plays too, because I really want to I really want to know what the larger market is going to do before I start taking some more speculative plays.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the first 15 to kind of close as well to see where we end up in terms of the first 15-minute range.
That 100 battle on dwac is pretty wild here. It's dipped beneath it and above it several times. Just from when, sorry, I was watching Tesla.
That's okay. Don't apologize.
Well, I never know when you're changing to my screen, so I want to try to be more on top.
Wow, Tesla got to 970. Oh,
yes,
man.
It did.
Immediately backed off too.
I was literally talking to.
Well, that's when the market pulled back, I believe.
Yep.
Right. So the market kind of said,
Roy says it's normal by this dip. Well, that's historically right. So, okay. Here's what's about to happen. I am going to step off here because I have to prepare for our next show at 10 o'clock. Futures trading with Benzinga, with NinjaTrader. Sorry, with Benzinga and NinjaTrader. And so I'm gonna leave you guys, but I'm gonna leave you guys in the capable hands of producer AB.
Oh man,
there he is. AB,
what's up?
Oh no, AB, fix your microphone, man. Dude, come on.
AB, you just bought out. Come on, man. Come on.
You think just because we raise a little bit of money, you can just like screw around like this? This is all right. Plug the microphone in, yeah.
If you need to head out, Ryan and I can hold it
Hello?
down. There you go, my man.
Goodness, plug the microphone in.
I figured it out. No big deal.
All right, AB, how's your morning going?
Behringer's looking at the stream and they're like, AB's got to go.
They're watching. They are watching. They have a pen and paper and they are writing names down. You do not want your name on
They're
that.
trying to see. I'm done.
Yeah.
AB's trying to think of something.
No, I mean, you asked how my morning's going. I was telling Spencer, I think today was maybe the first and only time I was the first person at the Benzinga office. We had a 6 a.m. Call time to be here at the office, and I was on time. It didn't seem like anyone else.
Can I say I got here at 6:10 and there was already like 7 people here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. Anyway, I have to hop off because I got to prepare for futures trading. We're talking futures with NinjaTrader from 10 to 10:30. I'll be there. Everyone, do your thing, guys. Keep making that money.
See ya.
While we were joking around with producer AB, Prague, ticker PROG, Progenity, huge trade through 320. This one was moving last week too. We snapped 320 right here. We're still pushing 340, giving you this trade here on PROG.
Ooh, Prague. Okay.
Let me go ahead and get my Benzinga Pro pulled up.
Man, sorry. I got here's where I wanted to get in the trade again. So Tesla, we already traded this morning, made a good amount of money. I think it was almost actually was more than 100%. I wanted to get back in at the 950, but I got really scared. I should have gotten in because look at that. It kind of, I want to say double bottom, but it went ahead and bounced off of the low of the day, which would have been my stop loss anyway. I got scared and I didn't get back in the trade. But if you listened and you had those levels of the low a day stop, you could have made some money on that, but I did not get back in.
I mean, this is the first time that we're seeing a true Tesla like move in a while. We talked about it a couple of days ago that since mid-May, the stock has just been trickling upward. We haven't seen any of these big 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% days, and today finally we're at a 5% day. So we got used in the past to seeing Tesla move like this, but it hasn't been recently. Now we're getting that move again. I don't know what's next for Tesla. Are we going to see it hit 1,000 here in the next couple of weeks? We shall see.
Yeah, I believe we will. But Ryan, you tell me this, right? If you go ahead and take a look at my chart, AB, if you can put it up, or matter of fact, you've got it up anyway. You see that gap there, Ryan? Or I guess you see the gap here. How would you? Because you know how they say gaps fill and this, that, and the other. Does this make you bearish because you believe that we'll come back and touch 900, aka retest it and then go onwards? Or what are you thinking here? Just initial thoughts.
So that doesn't make me bearish at all. First of all, this is a great question. This is exactly why the floating island is what it is. No, that doesn't make me bearish at all. Gaps definitely get filled. And I want to see them tested, right? So now you see we've kind of carved out a range on that daily candle. If you could zoom in on it, it might be a little bit easier to see. We've now kind of no, I meant zoomed in on the actual daily, so you can see the candle a little bit more. All right, so now we've carved out a range here. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to react to what I'm seeing, right? I'm not going to try to make a prediction. I'm going to try to react to what I'm seeing. So if we hold the bottom of this candle, to me, that tells me that the next move is going to be up, right? We just tested the bottom of this range. We held in there. The gap is not going to get filled on this time around. So I want to play the reaction to that, right? I want to play the next move up. Now let's take it the other way. Let's say we get to the top of that candle and we really can't break the day high. What do you think is going to happen next? We're probably going to trade back down and test that gap, see if we're going to stay in that range. So I want to react to what I see and try to trade that instead of making predictions, because then then it's my own bias is coming in here, right? So does that answer your question?
It absolutely does. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because I feel like oftentimes whenever individuals are like, oh, there's a gap always gets filled, it's got to do this, and then it can go. There's always, exceptions to the rules and things like that. Nothing in life is 100%, or else we'd all be rich as anything. But it's interesting you mentioned that. So yeah, let's see if it kind of goes ahead and tests the bottom again. It already did once, held. Let's see if it goes ahead and does it again. You got the red line that I drew right there. So yeah, we can see what happens there. By the way, do you trade futures, Ryan?
I do not.
You don't, right? I didn't think so.
I'd like to move into that in the future. It's just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's not been something that I've done yet.
AB, I know you're a big YOLO guy as well. You know how many times, like, if I don't have a show or whatever, and I have nothing to do, I'm like, man, I wish I traded Bitcoin, or I wish I traded futures, because you could make a little bit of money or whatever. Because it's like, I don't want to wait till 9:30.
Just start scalping Bitcoin or Ethereum with a little bit of cash and see what you can do. I have
Coinbase, but I feel like futures is where I want to go. I need to call TD Ameritrade because I have an account with them and I have money in there, but I need to see if I need to open up a separate account for futures, or if I can just do it.
You probably just need to get your account coded for the futures contract.
Get permissions.
Futures, you can actually lose more than you risk. So there's a whole bunch of disclosures that you're going to have to go through and make sure the account is properly coded for that. But I would imagine you're going to be able to trade that in the same account that you already have.
Yeah, James, I don't want to sleep, man. I want to trade futures till the bell, and then trade stocks till the bell, and then come back to futures, man. And on the weekends, me and AB are going to do some crypto trading.
I was just going to say, elite trading hit it right. Futures keep you up at night. James, futures is a one-way ticket to no sleep, man. They know what they're talking about.
They do. So here's the low, by the way, guys. Ryan mentioned it, testing the low, right? So far, it's holding. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get a trade in. You know what? I'm going to do a quick trade on this. I will risk about $100 to see if it works out.
All right. Then after
I just went ahead and bought it.
I got a live trade I'm going to make as well. I actually got 2 stocks I'm looking at this morning. One that it's not really a stock that I trade a lot. I like volatile stocks, like stocks that move a lot, so I like to trade options. But I've got my eye on Dave & Buster's right now. Play, ticker PLAY. It looks like it's bouncing off some support, coming back. I'm going to pull up my screen. I only got my Robinhood up, but I might just buy, or here, I'll pull it up on Benzinga Pro. I'm not going to buy options because I don't think Play is I don't think Dave & Buster's is a great stock to trade options on. So I'm just going to enter this as a quick little day trade and have like $42 where we see this previous resistance as my price target. I'm looking for this to come back up here in the next couple days. Sell out for, somewhere around 10%.
All right. I like it. Let's see how that goes.
And then the other stock I'm watching today is Simply Foods. Simply Good Foods. The stock is breaking out today, up about 4%. We see another big candle on Friday, but I don't think we're done. I think this is going to continue to run. At least put it on your radar, put it on your watch list. Could we come down a little bit? Maybe, but I think in the long run that here in the next couple of weeks, we'll see this go from $38 up to maybe, a similar price in both those stocks. I'm just realizing now with Dave & Buster's and Simply Good Foods, but here I'd be looking for about 10% too. So another about $4 move up to $42.
You got this on, you just got it on Robinhood?
Yep. I just put an order out to buy $100 of each of those 2 stocks, nice. Dave & Buster's and Simply Good Foods.
Nice. I just went ahead and scalped a little bit of Tesla. That's just kind of working off of that bottom, if you will. Got in at 610. I'm out at 688. I still have 1 contract left. If it goes ahead and breaks 945, I will go ahead and get out. Another thing you can do is you can sell here near VWAP if you want at the test of it. But again, you are going to be taking a little bit of a risk. So sell here so you can go ahead and lock in gains. You'll make about $80 or so per contract, or you can go ahead and risk off on the bottom here.
I see. Who was it? Hex in the chat said I mentioned Party last week, ticker PRTY. That is Party City Holding Co. So, it's a good little Halloween play. I mean, obviously the Halloween costumes, everything is priced in. But I was joking earlier that look, the stock is up 200%. Hey, it pays to be long parties, pays to be long fun times. Funny. So we're getting in Dave & Buster's. We're getting in Party City. All about it.
That is funny.
Anything else on the watch list today, boys?
Real quickly, AB. Last year, Party traded up after Halloween. In fact, it actually gapped up on November 9th. Looks like probably for an earnings report. So interesting little history in your trade there from the last time that it did this. I'm also still watching Activision Blizzard. Remember, we had gigantic contract purchases in the December 80 call. We have the earnings coming up on Tuesday, November 2nd. That's going to be a week from tomorrow. It comes in after the close. I think there's also some unsureness about what's going on with the sexual harassment lawsuit, considering the lawyers kind of screwed some of that up. So I'm definitely watching this. I'm still long this, doing really well in the calls. Think there's more to go here.
I'm not mad about this one, AB, because I went ahead and made a good amount of money on Tesla, but we talked about that 250 level on PayPal kind of being such key support. And look, it did go ahead and wick below, but you always want to give yourself a little bit of space when you're setting these stop losses. And for me, it's always like, I think on pre-market, we mentioned it was 249.50. Didn't break that, but you can see how well it held. If you just look at the 1 minute, it just tried to break it right here. I'll go ahead and get this red line right out. You can see how many times they've tried to break that. It just couldn't. And now it's kind of going up a little bit more. So this is why, sorry, give me a sec here. This is why having those levels is so key to knowing when to get in, when to get out, and have a plan, have a trade. And it helps to have that.
James in the chat saying a close friend of his is a general manager at Olive Garden, says profit margins are shrinking fast. So James, you saying that's why you're also short Dave & Buster's, ticker PLAY, PLAY. It sounds like if Olive Garden's struggling, then we can look at parent company Darden as a potential short. This is a company that I actually shorted right before the market crashed last year with COVID, and that was like one of those plays where I was like, yeah, if this virus ends up coming to the States, all these people aren't going to be able to go to Olive Garden and get a bunch of wine with their family or whatever. And that was one of those plays where I just bought like a couple $100s worth of puts on the company. They ended up being worth thousands, and that's what like got me hooked on trading options.
That is so funny.
Yeah, it's like my origin story as an options trader is buying Darden puts. I also worked at a Red Lobster in college who Darden used to own, so I kind of had some like insight. I was like, yeah. Our whole clientele is like, older people, families.
Mm-hmm.
COVID's not going to let any of this happen.
It's like the perfect example of like trade what you know, and you clearly knew a little bit of insight of the industry,
Well, that was the funniest thing is because, so I wasn't working at Red Lobster at the time, but I was still in our like Facebook employee group. And it was like when it like first started coming on the news, the markets hadn't really like gone down that much yet. And I was checking the Facebook group and everyone was like, there was no one in last night. Like our GM Justin says he only needs 2 servers tonight because no one's coming in. And I was like, all right, yeah, this is going to be a big deal.
Look at that. A little bit of DD.
Exactly. Let's check back in on that. Maybe that we should do that. We should just join Facebook employee groups of different companies and see how things are going. If you're in like
AB, this is actually really, really good information that you're telling people. You're using information that you had access to then make a financial choice. One of the things that we had recently on the happy hour is we have an analyst that comes in, a former analyst that would give us little tips. One of the things he would do is he would actually look at the expiration dates on products when he would go into stores. And if they were further out, obviously those products are selling. Whereas if the expiration date is really, really close, maybe some of those are sitting around. So when you go out and you do due diligence like that, that can often be the best impetus for a trade. I'm actually really proud of that information that you just shared with us. I think that's really awesome.
I like
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Ryan. I just thought it was a fun little anecdote, but I hope people get some value out of it too. And in finance and markets, definitely, but just in general, information allows you to make more informed and smarter decisions. So, I think it's always important to kind of keep our ears open, be open-minded, and, take in information that may allow us to change our minds about something or see things in a new light. I'm that way about Tesla. I thought for so long I was one of those people that I wasn't like actually shorting Tesla, but I was like, oh, this is way overvalued, whatever. And then like I stayed open-minded, and then I see more thing, and I'm like, okay, I get it. I get why this stock is on its way to $1,000. Am I going to buy up here at $950? Maybe not, but I'm not in that boat anymore where I'm like, oh, this company's crazy overvalued. I get it. I understand it now.
And by the way, Spencer pinged us. We got to end right at 10. The biggest thing I learned in the markets is just because it's up so much doesn't mean that it can't continue to go. And just because it's down so much doesn't mean it can't continue to drop. And obviously, I know everyone says buy the dip, but doesn't always work out that way.
What's up, Hadid? Good to see you. No, I'm just shouting out Hadid, longtime supporter of Benzinga, showing up today. What's going on, my man? Hope you are doing well.
I thought you gave me a new nickname. I wasn't sure.
Snap just turned green on the day. We started, it was trading lower because that reminded me, Zunaid, when, last week on Friday after the Snap earnings, Snapchat was down about 25% or so, and a bunch of people came in buying it, thinking it has to come up. And then we were actually open. It went down initially, but looks like we're back up in the green a little bit today. So yeah, it just goes to show you, just because something's down 20% doesn't mean it can't drop further. But I do, maybe not as a quick trade, but I do like Snap at these levels as more of a long-term investment. So we'll see.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Snap could be a little bit impacted by Facebook reporting later on today as well, right? Real quick, before we end the show, I went ahead and exited the contracts of Tesla here as it hit VWAP. So got in at 610, out at 710. Only have one more left, and at that low of day break, I will get out. So Teslas, I mean, that move's beautiful. Imagine if we got that move on a Thursday or Friday, those lottos would just be whoo-wee.
Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I was trading some Tesla lottos last week with the earnings and stuff, And I thought, what was that?
Sorry, Spencer pinged. We got to end at 10, but go ahead and finish your thought, I guess.
I was just going to say Tesla, I was enjoying and expecting the move to 900, but coming up to 950, I mean, that's surprising.
Yeah. I wish it didn't have that big gap up, but such is life.
We will live and learn. All right, y'all. Any final parting words?
And stop trying to be rich overnight. Take singles. You'll be all right.
Can't go broke taking profits.
There you go.
All right, y'all. Ryan, Zunaid.
Back at it tomorrow, AB.
Everyone's Twitter is on the screen, so go give us a follow. We will be back tomorrow at 9. What do we want to do? 9:15 a.m.
Let's go 9:15.
9:15 a.m. Shout out Helms, in the chat. Party on, Garth. All right, y'all. Over and out. Stay tuned for our next show. Spencer will take us live there. You do not need to go anywhere. This stream will automatically redirect you there.